What's going on, guys? Super Savage 789 here, bringing you guys a video. Today we're doing What If King Kai Trained Pikkon. Now this video is actually a collab with my good buddy Dreddy J. He'll be doing part 2 and he'll also be editing both parts, so big props to him. A link to his channel will be in the description, and a link to the video will be hopefully at the end of this video, but also in the comment section. Go give him some love, subscribe, and yeah, now on with the video. In this timeline, Pikkon, after fighting with Goku in the Otherworld tournament, realizes that King Kai may be the superior mentor to South Kai, so he would decide to venture to see King Kai. After locating him in Otherworld, Pikkon would explain the situation to him and request training. While King Kai is reluctant, Goku would be ecstatic to have a strong training partner, so King Kai would be forced into a situation where he has no choice but to agree. Pikkon would then begin to train with Goku and King Kai during the 7-year time skip. Remembering his fight with Goku, Pikkon would decide to try and learn the Kaioken, as he sees it as a valuable technique to possess. After learning that, he would also decide to learn the Genki Dama from King Kai, as that is also pretty powerful. Plus it puts him on a more equal playing field to Goku. Speaking of Goku, the duo would primarily train together for the 7 years. This would mean that Goku's gains would be much higher due to having a strong training partner. It may even allow him to perfect Super Saiyan 3, reducing the stamina drain from the form significantly. The duo would both learn the fusion dance as well from the Metamorans. The duo would practice doing this with each other, though they wouldn't like doing it as it simply takes away from time that they could use for training. Wanting a proper rematch, Goku would tell Pikkon about the Tenkaichi Budokai that they have on Earth, comparing it to the Otherworld tournament. He tells Pikkon about how there will be strong fighters there, like Vegeta, Piccolo and Gohan, and how they could all probably give Pikkon a good match. They might even get a rematch as well. Pikkon would think this over and agrees to do so, as he does like a good tournament. He can take 24 hours to have fun before returning to his typical routine. Thanks to Barber, the duo would be granted 24 hours and arrive on Earth at the tournament. Since nothing has changed on Earth, everyone in attendance would still be there, confused at who is with Goku. Goku introduces Pikkon to everyone, who would wish everyone a good match. Pikkon would tell them about how he bodied Cell, which would make everyone realize this guy is no joke. They would all still run into Shin, and then head to the tournament where the kids division takes place. When the actual tournament starts, Pikkon would be up against Krillin. Krillin would ask Pikkon to take it easy on him, which Pikkon smirks at. He tells Krillin about how in Otherworld, there is a human who was a rival to him at one point. It makes him rather nostalgic. It makes him wonder if Krillin can even compete. Krillin would decide to give it his all, powering up to his max and fighting Pikkon. It is a good match, but obviously Pikkon is much stronger. He doesn't even need to remove his weight, so he's able to outmaneuver and defeat the monk. Afterwards, Piccolo forfeits against Shin, Spopovich bodies Videl, Gohan gets his energy stolen, and everyone rushes away to stop Babidi. Kibito is killed, Piccolo and Krillin are turned to stone, and the rest of the fighters enter Babidi's ship. When Goku fights Jakon, he won't need to rely on feeding him light to make him explode. Instead, he's simply able to outpower him and destroy him with a Kamehameha. Then Pikkon would fight against Dabura. He would remove his weights to fight, doing rather well. His power would be nothing to scoff at as everyone watches him beat up the Demon King with relative ease. Plus, he is able to counter Dabura's hacks with his own techniques. He then begins to use the Hyper Tornado, which makes Dabura cocky. He creates some swords, preparing to sidestep the attack and slice him in half. Just before this is possible, Pikkon would use the Kaioken to rocket straight through Dabura, leaving a massive hole in his chest. He would then explode and die. Babidi would begin to panic, and seeks out someone to turn into a Margin. This would be Vegeta. Everyone's teleported to the tournament, including Krillin and Piccolo since they weren't petrified. Goku and Vegeta go off to fight while Piccolo, Gohan, Shin and Pikkon head off to fight Buu and Babidi. Due to Pikkon being the strongest, he'd be doing his best to fight back Buu and hold him off. Using his maximum Kaioken, he'd be doing quite well, especially with the assistance of the other three. It would make Buu rather desperate, leading to him going all out and off-guarding Gohan, leaving him presumed dead like in canon. Enraged at Gohan's death, Piccolo rushes in at Buu, who turns around to wipe him out as well. Pikkon would rush in the way, kicking Piccolo away as he takes the blast. When smoke clears, Pikkon would be assumed to be erased. In actuality though, he's in a similar state as Gohan. Before anyone else can die though, Vegeta would show up. He still has his tearful moment with his kid and then fights Buu, leading to a sacrifice. Then everyone killed is revived and Goku would begin to teach the kids the fusion dance. His time would run out, and he is then taken back to Otherworld, where he heads over to the Supreme Kai's planet. There, he would see Gohan training with the Z-Sword, as well as Pikkon training with the Kais. To make sure the Kais aren't being useless, Pikkon would begin to train them up, as well as teach them both a new technique, the Fusion Dance. While the sizes are drastically different, clearly Dragon Ball doesn't care about this rule, or simply forgot about it. Goku and Vegeta are quite a few inches apart in height and shouldn't be able to fuse by that logic. Plus, they changed the cooldown on the Fusion Dance entirely, as usually you'd have to wait an hour, but in the Broly movie that doesn't seem to be the case. So I don't think it's too nuts to assume that Shin and Kibito could fuse. If you think it is though, then you smell. Like normal, Gohan breaks the Z-Sword and Elder Kai would break out. He then begins to awaken Gohan's potential, while Pikkon continues training the other two. He would tell them about Potara, however Shin and Kibito don't want to be fused forever, so they decide that the dance should be enough. On Earth, everything goes the same, with Gotenks fighting Super Buu and everyone dying. Then, when Gohan comes to Earth, Buu flies off, to him, with Goten, Trunks, and Piccolo in pursuit. When Gohan shows up, Shin and Kibito would also show up with him to fight. Gohan and Buu would begin to fight like normal with Buu fleeing, only to return to absorb Piccolo and Gotenks. This leaves Gohan and the Kais to fight against the Zaijin. Shin and Kibito would fuse with the Fusion Dance, which we'll call Kibito Kai for simplicity. Despite this fusion and Gohan's strength, the fight is still quite uphill, even with Tenshinhan's brief contribution. Goku and Pikkon want to go down to Earth, but Elder Kai only has one life to give. Pikkon would get the idea that they can fuse with the dance, and that way both their lives will be restored. They both realize though that even if this is possible, it won't be enough. So they would decide to fuse with the Potara. They put on the earrings and become Pikido. They then are brought to life and teleport to Earth to fight Buu. With this fusion's power, no transformations will be needed, so they begin to fight up Buu in his base. When Buu defuses, it makes it even easier to fight him and beat him up, so he would try to absorb Gohan as a last-ditch effort. Before he can though, Kibito Kai uses the Kai Kai and pushes Gohan out the way, getting absorbed instead. While it does boost his strength, it isn't enough to combat Pikido. He would activate Super Saiyan and pushes Buu to absorb him, which he would. This would of course be a ploy, which Gohan is able to deduce, noting how Buu's strength hasn't changed. Also, while I'm here, credits to Mr. Negative 26 for the art of both Base and Super Saiyan Pikido. Links to his DeviantArt will be in the description. You should see more art of his, both on my channel and Dreddy's, and a few other people's. He's definitely a cool guy, so yeah, go show him some love. On the outside, Gohan will begin to stall Buu, pretending to struggle against him as they fight. It means that now the defused Pikkon and Goku are able to free the Z-Fighters with no hassle. Without Vegeta, Fat Buu won't be freed, meaning that Buu would remain as Super Buu. So when Pikkon and Goku escape with the others, Gohan will be sure not to make the same mistake again. He fires the strongest Kamehameha he can muster, destroying Buu completely. Everyone else will then be revived, which would include Fat Buu, as Goku is able to read minds, and sees how he turned good from Mr. Satan. How will Super play out, with Pikkon alive and on Earth? Head over to Dreddy's channel for part 2, which will cover all of Super, because that's where we're going to leave it here for right now. If you enjoyed this part, why not hit the like button? It supports the channel and lets me know that I'm doing a good job. And big thanks to Dreddy yet again, he's doing the edits for this, supposedly. And also big thanks to Mr. Negative 26. Even though his art wasn't used for that long, it still is pretty good, especially the Super Saiyan one. So make sure you go give those people some love. And yeah,